In today's video, I'm going to show you some brilliant strengthening exercises that you can try at home for your back. It'll be appropriate for you if you would just like to maintain a nice, healthy, strong back, or if unfortunately you do have some low back pain, it'll also help facilitate some improvement and hopefully prevent your symptoms from returning. There'll be some variations and progressions along the way, and make sure you stay tuned until the end where I'll go through exactly how many of each exercise you should be trying to achieve. Hey there, it's Luke from Genuine Physio, where we bring you honest, evidence-based information and education to get you guys back on the road to recovery. If you are new around here, then do subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more of our content. And if you do like what you see, then a thumbs up is really appreciated. There'll be some useful links in the description below, and come and say hi on all of the main social media platforms. We'd love to hear from you. And with all of that out of the way, let's get going. Exercise 1 is the bridge, and you'll notice where you place your feet will have a big difference on where you feel the muscles working. So the further away from you your feet are, the more you'll feel it in your hamstrings, and the closer your feet are to your bottom, the more you'll feel it in your glutes. What you're going to do here is bend your knees, keep your feet on the floor, and then you're going to squeeze your tummy muscles and your glutes in whilst you push up through your feet and raise your hips off the floor. The key is to do it nice and slowly, but keeping everything contracted all the way up and all the way down. So if you do find the double leg bridge too easy, then you can always try one leg. So have one foot on the floor, straighten the opposite knee and keep your thighs in line with each other. And then you do the same thing, push up through the foot, get your hips off the floor, keep those glutes and tummy muscles nice and tight all the way up and all the way down. If you do have some resistance band handy, then a middle ground between the double leg and the single leg would be to place the resistance band around your knees, and the idea here is you're trying to keep some pressure on the band the whole way through by pushing your knees out slightly. This exercise is called knee dropouts, and here we are looking for very slow, controlled movement. You'll find it very easy if you just let your knee flop out to the side and bring it back in. So really try and squeeze in your deep tummy muscles and squeeze in your bottom muscles while you're doing the movement. You will need your resistance band for the progression of this exercise. You're going to place it around your knees and you'll do exactly the same movement. Do make sure that as the moving leg comes out to the side, it does not bring the immobile leg across with it, and the immobile leg has to stay completely still. With prone hip extension, you'll start off face down on the floor or bed. You want to squeeze in your glutes as hard as you can, and then you're going to keep your leg as straight as possible and lift it slowly off the floor and then lower it slowly back down again. You should feel the muscles in your lower back and your glutes working hard with this exercise. If you do find it too easy, then you can incorporate the arms as well. So as one leg comes off the floor, the opposite arm will do the same thing, and they'll raise together and lower back down to the floor together. And this will get the muscles working throughout the whole back. This exercise is called a dorsal raise. You're going to start off face down with your hands next to your ears or behind your head. Then you're going to slowly lift your chest off the floor, and you should feel the muscles in the middle of your back working very hard. If you did want to make the exercise harder, you could get the legs involved as well. So as the chest comes off the floor, the legs do the same thing at the same time. This will really get the glutes, the lower back and the upper back working very hard. Moving on to Supermans, and I'm going to show you a few different variations of this exercise. The idea is of slow, controlled movement. So you need to make sure you're squeezing your buttock muscles in and your deep tummy muscles in throughout all of the exercise. The easiest version of the exercise would just be to raise the arm up and out in front of you and lower it back down slowly. If you wanted to make it harder, you could do the same thing with the leg. And the important thing here is you want to maintain a nice straight line from the leg all the way down the back. The hardest version would be to do the opposite arm and the opposite leg at the same time. The world famous plank, which is a brilliant core strengthening exercise. I'm going to show you a few different variations of this, all varying in difficulty. The easiest version will be on your forearms with your knees bent. If that's too easy, then you can go forearms and toes, and you should really feel the abs kicking in on this one. If that's too easy, you can go hands and toes. And if you want to be really fancy, you can do a more dynamic exercise where you go down onto your forearms and come back up onto your hands, and you can do that for a period of time. You can also do a side plank, which will work more on your obliques, and they're the muscles that run down the side of the trunk. You'll feel them working if you try this exercise. The easiest version of this exercise would be to bend your knees, so the point of contact with the floor would be your elbow and forearm and your knee. To progress, the points of contact would be the elbow and forearm and then your feet. And you're looking for a nice straight top line and bottom line along your trunk and legs. To make it harder and more dynamic, you could add in a pulsing movement. This exercise is called hip abduction in side lying, and as the name suggests, you'll start off lying on your side and then you'll slowly lift the top leg off the bottom leg whilst keeping a nice straight knee, and do not be tempted to point your toes to the ceiling. They have to keep pointing forwards, and you should feel the glutes working nice and hard with this one. If you did want to make it harder, grab your resistance band and you can pop it either around your knees or around your ankles. The last two exercises are harder, but they're much more functional for daily activities. The first one is a deadlift. If you haven't got any weight at home, you can grab a rucksack and chuck some heavy books or cans of food in there. You'll have a slight bend in the knee, flex forward at the hip whilst keeping your back straight, and slowly lift your weight up and back down again. You should feel the hamstrings and your lower back working hard. The last exercise is going to be a lunge plus some back rotation. So go and find a weight that is appropriate for your level. What you're going to do is lunge forwards, and you'll do this on both legs, and at the end of the motion you'll slowly bring your weight round to the left side and then slowly bring it round to the right side before pushing backwards into a standing position. Now, I told you at the beginning of the video, if you did stay tuned until the end, I'd go through exactly how many of each one we're trying to achieve. Now, if we are trying to improve our strength, we're really looking for between 8 and 12 repetitions, 3 to 5 times. So you do one exercise up to 12 times, and then you may have a 30-second to a 2-minute rest, and you'll do those 12 exercises 3 to 5 times. And if we're trying to improve our strength, it's really important that the exercises are hard work. By the time you get to the end of your repetitions, you should really be feeling like you can't do many more. And you're looking for that achy couple of days in the muscles that you've been working afterwards. That's a sign that you've stimulated the tissues enough to cause some adaptation and some change. As always, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you found the exercises useful. If you have, then please give us a thumbs up. It really helps. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe down here so you don't miss any more of our content. There'll be some useful links in the description below, and do come and say hi on all of the main social media platforms. But before you go, I'd love to hear from you. So drop me a comment and let me know which exercises you found most useful. And until next time, I'll see you again very soon.